This is the 100th season of the NFL, and to celebrate that, the NFL released the top 100 plays in the history of the NFL. Something I wanted to talk about, something particularly that, as Stephen A. Smith likes to say, ticked me off. People just do not understand that these plays were more about just the greatness of the play, but also about the context of the play. It's all about context. Okay? People were talking about it on Instagram and social media. Why is a QB sneak, or was it number 8 all time in greatest plays of all time? Because Bart Starr's QB sneak in the Ice Bowl is one of the most iconic plays in the history of the game. The NFL would not be what it is today if not for that game. Packers winning on that play, advancing to their second Super Bowl to win the second Super Bowl. Steve Gleason's blocked punt in itself is just a blocked punt. But that blocked punt meant more to the city of New Orleans than any play had ever meant in the history of the team. Steve Gleason is an icon because of that play. You could make a movie about Steve Gleason's life. It's one of the greatest plays of all time. Alan Amici scoring the game-winning touchdown in the 1958 NFL Championship game. That game put the NFL on the map. It's regarded as, quote, the greatest game ever played for a reason, the first overtime game in the history of the NFL. Another thing ticks me off. People out understand also that film, particularly NFL films, was slowed down for dramatic effect. People look and they're like, oh my god, these people were so slow, when majority of the time, obviously yes, they're a little bit slower and not as athletic, NFL films had intentionally been slowing down the film. I think NFL films did themselves a disservice in the future by doing that. They wanted it to look cool and cinematic, but we also lose context, and you can't tell necessarily the greatness of the play. Also, just want to talk about a couple of my favorite plays of all time. Number 100 on this list, Roger Craig's run against the Rams. The high knees that he had on that play are so iconic. I'm coaching football. I'm coaching running backs right now for Brian McMahon High School. I told him to YouTube that play. You probably didn't, because if it didn't happen yesterday, no one seems to care about it. The recency bias everyone has. I told him to YouTube that play, because that's how you got to run the ball. No one wants to get in front of you if you got your knees up like that. The Billy White Shoes Johnson Hail Mary, that is awesome. Deflects off of multiple people. He catches it and still has to make moves to get in the end zone. Love that one. Tonio Cromartie's longest play in the history of the game, 109 3/4, and he returns that missed field goal all the way back for a touchdown right at the end of half. Dan Dierdorf said, Brad Childress, you could fry an egg on his forehead right now. Always remember that one. And also, Adrian Peterson set the record for rushing yards in a game in that game. That's an iconic game in itself. A couple other ones, Benjamin Watson's hustle play to get Champ Bailey from behind in that playoff game, even though it came in a loss. Iconic play. Bill Belichick says that's the only play from a losing game that they have in their locker room or hallway, just because of the effort and determination that it showed. A couple others. John Mackey basically breaking every single tackle from the Detroit Lions. That's another clip that was in slow motion. It was slowed down. People don't realize that. He's not running a 6-second 40. John Mackey's one of the greatest players of all time. Or like even ones that didn't have that much of an impact. The Randy Moss lateral at the end of the half where he catches that pass and laterals it behind his back. Incredible plays. NFL is now doing multiple other things to celebrate 100 greatest. I think something that they're going to be doing is 100 greatest teams, greatest games, greatest characters, greatest game changers. Can't wait to look at those. Can't wait to talk about them. I share my opinion on that.